what part of it is the part that motivates you to keep going despite how hard it is? Because, just from a fly on the wall, a few times when I, witness you, I see how hard it is.
I think it's because, and I don't mean this in an emo way or anything, but I have a vision for the scale of my output that I know is impossible. And
Mm.
so I think when I think back of just like sort of influence, that computer game, SimCity 2000, was everything for me. So just sort of organizing environments at the scale of the globe, and then destroying them and rebuilding and aestheticizing them. Um, I just have dreams of remixing city blocks in Los Angeles with, once you think of just like the mess of development and bureaucracy and cost and capital, all these things. I don't know that I'll arrive there, by the time I leave this plane, but I know that I can work every day to get to that one architecture, that second architecture, hopefully 10 architectures by the time like I move on, and so that keeps me up, just like trying to arrive at like these digital blueprints that I was making like in 2006 and 2007, where I was sort of mapping out geography and sampling and just like all this world making and wanting to like actually see it. And I'm not there yet. I think a lot about the process of the architect with, the drawings and flat works and the sets of blueprints and then the model making stage and then the actual architecture. And I think though I make installations and sculptures at a human scale, I'm still in the like experimental miniature phase.
Mm.
And I hope um, within the next 3 years or so, I'm actually at the scale of building like architecture, and not art that's spatial and not art that's dependent on another architecture to exist, its own like fortified, self-supported, self-standing architecture on Western or whatever,
Wow. Oh
So
my
that
God.
wakes me up and
That's
wakes me up
amazing.
like I gotta get to work.
Ugh.
I might not
Mm.
be able to make a city, but I might be able to make 20 architectures before I leave.
I think you will.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's so incredible. I was thinking about today and this conversation, and I wondered, when I look at your work, it kind of transports you somewhere. It's not just like, oh, when you look at art or an installation where you have your reaction because it's art. It's not like that. It's
Mm.
like you take people somewhere. It changes us when we see or walk through or become affected by all these like past, present, future themes
Mm.
and dreams and your vision. Like, did you always see this way, even when you were a child?
I credit all of my imagination to Parliament Funkadelic.
Mhm.
And so I would say like I give it 100%, I had a very difficult um childhood and like thing, and so my bedroom became my first art installation. And so luckily enough, I had parents that were just like, do whatever you want. So the room would, as my friends like Emmanuel and Dee and Chris, people that work with me now would come over and they would like rap in my room or like do their freestyle battling and stuff. I would just be collaging on the walls, or arranging plants or before I even knew it was a thing, doing like the Andy Warhol foil everywhere. And then downloading the internet came out. We got the internet, and then downloading music like with Kazaa and LimeWire was a thing, gambling with the life of your computer because you could download this file and then it'll explode. But I had just grown up with Parliament like on the tip of my tongue and samples and people playing in the backyard at the fight parties, whatever. And when I got about like 13 or 14, I and always just intrigued aesthetically, I decided to jump in and I downloaded like everything. And I would just go on these just like, you know, these trips in my room. And so it was so magical about it then and now, but especially as like a little girl was that, or a young girl was that they were able to like beam me up and into these portals of Chocolate City or pharaonic worlds or underwater to, you know, wherever without me having to leave my body, leave my room. And just thinking about them providing space for me and a new context in which I could experience myself devoid of all the pain and mess at a very high level as a funketeer. And so what sort of compelled me to be like, okay, I'm gonna divorce basketball, or the dream of going to the WNBA, and I'll go to community college and just take all the art classes I could possibly take, was getting the images out of my head that, as far as just like outputting them, you know, that Parliament gave me. And I'm still trying to do that, and I'm not there yet.